So police have finally arrived at the community of Riverlea. It's south of Johannesburg. They're living in fear at the moment, police having just arrived a few moments ago. It is all to do with a standoff, really, between police and illegal miners. It led to gunshots in the area. Aviwe Mtila, I think our reporter, is with us, along with our camera person this morning. Let's take a quick listen in. And if Aviwe, you're with us, morning, what are we looking at? I'm seeing police, and give me a sense, who else are we seeing arriving in Riverlea?
Good morning, Gareth. We're actually going deeper inside Zama informal settlement where the illegal miners actually refine the gold that they find. I'm going to call my colleague Percy to be at this side just to show us. I'm told there's a hole where they run into. It's actually the hole that the police are currently having a look at here. Apparently one of the illegal miners ran into that hole here. And just to get more context here, I am joined by the CPF here. Koketo, tell us about this particular hole. What just happened here?
Okay, if you witnessed yesterday's arrest, there was few guys that just went in and ran inside this hole. So this is the hole that leads them to Ashburn, and then that leads them out to go outside. So others can do the work and they get it through this hole.
Okay, so that very hole that we see there is where they run to. It's a tunnel, that leads to the illegal mining activities.
Yes, Ashburn is.
Okay, Koketo, maybe give us more information, because majority of the morning, the Johannesburg Metro Police, the SAPS, we haven't seen them in numbers. Maybe tell us, as a CPF, what has happened overnight and just your knowledge.
Okay, overnight we had a lot of Metro Police. We had a Nyala around our first 10, if not mistaken, and then that's the least that I can say. The police were there, but they came later because they were already on the ground by that time.
Okay, so it's the JMPD that has been here in majority, the majority of the night. Remember, Gareth, the promise from Police Minister Pegekela was that immediately when he left, the TRT, which is part of the SAPS, would be on the ground, as well as Amapereta, and then a heavier police enforcement from the National Police, the South African Police Service, not essentially the JMPD. I want us to move in and then move a bit closer then, just to get a sense of how their living is. Maybe we'll find even where the gold is refined. I even see the councillor here. Councillor Doyle. Sorry, I need to bring you in, councillor. Just talk us through today, even yesterday. Yesterday we were together when, of course, those arrests happened of those 6 people, but the majority of those illegal miners ran away. Maybe talk us through what has happened since then.
Okay, yesterday when I was with you on the ground, you saw some presence of law enforcement. They managed to get a few of them, but majority got away. So late last night, I wasn't on the ground, but as per the updates that came in on the community groups, there was some police presence at certain sections in the area. But now this morning earlier, as you can see also now, there's quite a presence of law enforcement here on the ground, and I believe that the community appreciates that, but we want a consistent presence of law enforcement on the ground to make sure this matter is addressed, to make sure that this thing is taken head on, and to make sure that the problem gets solved as soon as possible. So now we're currently here with law enforcement here on the ground here in Zama as well. The more exposed, the better.
I think this is some sort of where they work. Maybe do you have information on what happens here, Councillor Doyle?
I'm a youth councillor. I'm a youth councillor in Action SA. Okay. What's happening is that, as you can see, it's where they are mining. It's where they are cleaning their gold. This is where they do it. So it's not safe anymore. You can see, as these things you can see. What about this community that lives here? Because 89% of them, as I've said on the news, that it's foreigners, it's not South Africans. You understand? This is too much. Yeah. It's bearing for the community. It's very scary. Some of the things you are seeing, if kids can see these things, what's going to happen?
You can also have we have the MMC of community safety. MMC.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's talk about even the promises that were made here, and why this has been let to happen so rampantly. Illegal mining around Riverlea, the killings that have been happening for years now.
No, look, there's been some efforts that we did. For example, in Matoleville, Matoleville, the flare off and all of that. There are operations and a cover operation that actually has been actually happening more in terms of the disruptive ones. But when you look in terms of the chain, it's a syndicate. And we've been gathering intelligence in terms of who stands to benefit in actually all this. Because these guys actually go underground. When they go underground, you've got people who they actually call it a line, who buy the line for about 150,000 to 230,000. So it's a very highly organized, and we've been having efforts in terms of gathering intelligence, having operations, joint operations with JNPD and SAPS. In Matoleville, we actually have been there, and then when you go there, you find out they've got a tip off, and then when you get there, we can't find them. They even go underground. So what we did now, we're having a program where these holes now, we are actually burying them. Other people, they were saying to us, well, but why burying them? There might be people inside and human rights law, there are rights and everything like that. But we've taken a decision that we're going to bury them.
But MMC, sorry to interject. The reality is that this has been led to happen. I tell you why. We're here at the Zanempilo Informant and Settlement. Not even a kilometer away here is the police station. Surely this is known about. The killings have been happening rampantly. Why aren't the police here, as you, community safety, ensuring that they come to such areas and these people are running up and down brazenly, shooting each other in front of the community members, killing each other in the yards of the community members? It's so brazen, and it's been led to happen, MMC.
What I'm trying to say is that this is a syndicate. Remember, the people who are shooting, it's a war between them. It's a territorial.
And what
war.
about the police efforts then? What are the police doing about all of this?
So what we actually been doing ourselves is to doing these operations, disruptive ones, because you find that the ones coming from Kagiso, they come in actually, they will shoot here randomly. That's why we're saying that as the JMPD internally, working with the security forces of actually SAPS, we need to actually intensify. I agree with you, we've not been doing quite an intense operations in terms of dealing with this. But yes, there have been operations like Manje Namhlanje, Ukai Mulao, and we've been in Flarehof, we've been in Amatoleville, we've been everywhere. But I agree with you that we need to actually do more. That's why we're saying that as a city as well, the mayor and the city manager said, MMC Chwaku, I think all your efforts, and you must deal with this thing, all our inventory, all our capacity, we must actually deal with this thing once and actually and for all. And I'm afraid that we might have to use some uncontroversial things, by the way, like burying these things here and putting tear gas inside, because these guys, it's very organized. When you have an operation and they say no, they're in this area, they just disappear and go inside here. So we do just taking a decision that we're going to put tear gas inside and we're going to bury these things. Starting from Namhlanje, like today, we're going to be burying about 5 holes where there are hot spots. Because when you do those things, you've got human rights coming in, all the NGOs coming in. You can't do that with people like that. But we're taking a decision because the people are you are correct. People are crying on us. And we said to ourselves that it's going to be fire by fire now. They shoot at us, we're going to shoot them. We're going to shoot them to actually kill now. Because, I mean, the people are crying and all of that. So I agree with you. We're going to intensify on our side, working with the actually SAPS. And we are pleading with SAPS as well that when we're doing parades and we're doing this, let us work together, not working in silos, having Operation Kaya Mulao, Operation Manje and Namhlanje. Let us combine now and deal with this thing. I agree, people are really crying, and we're not doing quite aggressive these operations, but we promise the community that from now on we're going to be intensifying this war every single time operation in these areas.
And then just in terms of arrests, we saw 6 yesterday that were eventually scrambled and arrested out of the at least 3 dozens that ran away. Do you have the latest numbers maybe of the operations overnight?
Look, I don't have them by actually hand. Like these arrests, look, we are arresting these are just it's those ones. I want the ones with guns. The problem is that the ones with guns, are very organized. We've been looking for actually them, and we're actually getting very close because as you can see here that you've got informers everywhere. So they know someone actually leaks our operations. Those are the kingpins. And also on the line where you actually have to buy things and buy this stuff, there are people who are actually buying all these things in terms of your gold and all of that. Yeah, so it's a very organized thing, very organized.
Okay, MMC, thank you very much. That's the MMC of Community Safety in Johannesburg, City of Johannesburg. Admittedly saying not enough is being done, but promising sterner and harsher action. So there are markings here that is the CPF. Percy, I'm going to ask my colleague to come a bit closer. Percy, I just want us to talk to these markings. It seems like you know exactly the operations here. This is the CPF member here. Tell us more on what we're seeing here. There's a red sort of line.
Markings is just like illegal. This is people from the Zamas. Most of them, they hide here. They work with these guys. So this is just a shop. This lady is a shop, but she's staying also inside. So now there's if you check any markings, it should be red, it should be yellow, it should be black. That's the 3 markings that we have. So this is the shacks that's marked to be moved and evacuated. It must be evacuated outside.
Okay, so there are specific markings for
the illegal Zamas and illegal immigrants that's staying in there. That's having that space illegally.
All right. So for now, we're going to leave it there. Of course, we're still on the ground watching these operations by the Johannesburg Metro Police as well as now the South African Police Services. We're inside Zanempilo informal settlements where in majority it houses the illegal miners here that actually crisscross and do their operations both above surface and also go into those holes into their illegal mining activities. They are at war with themselves now, turf wars that are impacting the Riverlea community as well as just terrorizing the Langlagta community. Not far from here, in fact, is a police station. At least some couple of meters away to a kilometer away is the Langlagta police station.
Aviwe, not sure if you got your running shoes on, but while you were busy interviewing the MMC, where Percy, our camera operator, is looking towards now, they actually had what looked like a few Zamas being arrested. So I'm not sure if you want to start making your way up there. They were being led away from your position while you were talking to the MMC. Maybe you want to start heading that way and we could maybe come back to you with the police in a couple of minutes. I'll maybe leave you to that, you and Percy. Start following those police officers down. That's part of the informal settlement because quite right, our very, very eagle-eyed camera operator Percy saw some of those being arrested and being taken away by the police. Let's see if Aviwe can get there before they put them in the back of an SAPS van.